Besides Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson has proved time and time again that he's worthy of being in the quarterback GOAT discussions. Banging in 24 passing touchdowns and 5 rush touchdowns in 16 games this season alone just goes to show how much he's improved. Furthermore, the fact that he has 2 MVP awards in 2019 and 2023 adds to the argument that he has all the capabilities to become one of the greatest players in the NFL. So it's time to look at the 10 times Lamar Jackson embarrassed his opponents. At number 10, we have the game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Tennessee Titans in the 2019 season. The Ravens were one of, if not the best team that year, grabbing dub after dub each game for 3.5 months. However, in this game, they were terrible. They eventually lost 12-28 and was ultimately kicked out of the playoffs. But it doesn't change the fact that Lamar Jackson still managed to carry the team with decent stats. Lamar completed 31 passes out of 59 attempts and racked up an incredible 365 yards. Damn, that's like the total number of days in a whole year. But the highlight of the game was when Lamar effortlessly juked 4 defenders like it was nothing.
Jackson stops.
If you think that play was impressive, just watch how this next play unfolds. At number 9, we have the game when the Baltimore Ravens went up against the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 2023 season. The Jaguars were known to be prone to creating mistakes, while the Ravens were brimming with confidence after winning their last 3 games. So surely nothing could go wrong, as the Ravens easily destroyed the Jaguars 23-7. Lamar Jackson managed to impress the whole stadium with 1 touchdown and 171 passing yards. What's the craziest thing is when he made this ridiculous pass towards Isaiah Likely.
Keeps it alive and flings it in the air. It is brought in by Likely.
I guess you could say that play was unlikely, but next up is something rare. When the Baltimore Ravens faced the Houston Texans in the 2019 season, Lamar Jackson did something unthinkable.
That fake off the stutter step. Lamar Jackson. Jackson still going.
That was an amazing 39-yard run, which adds to his spectacular stats this game, with 17 completed passes out of 24 attempts, reaching 222 passing yards and a set of 4 touchdowns. He managed to generate a staggering 139.2 passer rating, which was more than enough to help the Ravens dominate the Texans in a 41-7 score. Just as the announcer said, he was truly Lamarkable, just like number 7.
Second down and 10. Blocks Phillips. Caught, touchdown.
When he faced Miami Dolphins in the 2022 season, Lamar Jackson proved that he was one of the best performing quarterbacks in the league with skills miles above his teammates. Because when his team couldn't keep up with the opponent's game, only Lamar stepped up with his high standard plays. In this game, Lamar made 3 touchdowns with a passer rating of 142.6. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to win the game as the Dolphins made a dramatic comeback in the 4th quarter. But Lamar Jackson took his revenge a year later, which we'll cover later in the video. At number 6, we have the game against the Indianapolis Colts in the 2021 season.
Jackson able to escape for the time being. And Lamar Jackson trying to run away from some people.
This one was definitely a big test for Lamar Jackson. How so is because the Colts were actually leading by 11 points up until the end of the 3rd quarter. But Jackson was not the one to give up. In this game, he completed 37 passes out of 43 attempts with a sensational 442 passing yards, the most he had completed in his entire career. He even managed to bang in 4 touchdowns, which gave the Ravens the victory after a crazy 4th quarter comeback. With a rating of 140.5, I guess you could say that Jackson was the key man in this inspirational turnaround. Definitely something you would expect from a talent like him. Because for number 5, Jackson made an absolute fun of Cleveland Browns during the first week of the 2020 season, and his stats were insane.
Cleveland 6. Lamar Jackson squeezes.
He completed 20 passes and 3 touchdowns, producing a nutty passer rating of 152.1. The Ravens ultimately won with a really high margin of 38-6 as they faced their next game with poise. Lamar Jackson was truly the star of that game, establishing himself as one to watch for the rest of the season. But those numbers were still nothing compared to this next one. At number 4, we have a crazy game that made one of the highlights of Lamar Jackson's astonishing 2023 MVP season. Going up against a bobbly Detroit Lions side, Jackson produced a banger of a performance with 3 touchdowns.
Room, first down, touchdown. Still alive, throwing end zone, caught for the touchdown. Pressure coming, going end zone. It is caught.
Out of the 37 passes attempted, 31 of those were completed, and he collected a ridiculous 357 yards. His final passer rating was 155.8, a number that not many can replicate, as he led the Ravens for an easy 38-6 win against the Lions, completely embarrassing them. Speaking of which, we have finally made to the top 3, so the level of embarrassment will be reaching an all-time high. In the game against the Cincinnati Bengals in the 2019 season, Lamar Jackson took the world by storm. With an admirable passer rating of 158.3 after a 15 pass completion and 3 touchdowns, Lamar once again led the Ravens to dominate the Bengals with a 49-13 score. I mean, just look at this 47-yard touchdown play and count how many ankles he had broken.
Jackson himself, look at him turn back and forth. Oh! He entourage, and he's got a touchdown.
Jesus, bro, really showed there are levels to this game. But I'm telling you, what you just witnessed will never amount to the top 2. Lamar Jackson started off the 2019 season with a bang after demolishing Miami Dolphins 59-10 in the first week with stats that made himself a name that many will never forget. Just look at this, 17 completed passes out of 20 with 324 yards and a total of 5 touchdowns this game. That gave him a rating of 158.3, the best that we've seen so far. And if you're doubting this, just watch this beauty of a pass from Jackson.
Jackson has all day, looking deep for Hollywood Brown again, he's got it, Brown!
My God, with that crazy passing accuracy, that arm is definitely a gift from heaven. Anyways, finally, the top 1 is even absurd because he actually also dropped 5 touchdowns and earned the same 158.3 rating against the same opponent 4 years later. That's right, the Miami Dolphins had to endure another trashing by Lamar Jackson in the second week of the 2023 season with a final score of 56-19. This time he completed 18 out of 21 passes and 321 yards. He also broke 2 records. One of them is by joining Tom Brady as the only quarterbacks with 2 perfect ratings against the same team, with a minimum of 20 attempts. And the other record is during this game, he reached 800 yards rushing on the season, becoming the first quarterback in the entire NFL history to do that 3 times. Lamar's good form continued throughout the season, ultimately earning him as the number 1 in the quarterback ranking in the 2023 season. Look, if you ask me, he totally deserves it. I can't lie, man.